At exactly 9:17 p.m., there was a knock on the door. Maya Thompson froze in the middle of folding laundry. Her 8-year-old son, Caleb, looked up from the living room floor where he was building a cardboard spaceship. "Mom," he whispered. The knock came again. She swallowed, wiped her hands on her jeans, and walked to the door. When she opened it, 2 uniformed officers stood beside the building manager. "Ms. Thompson?" one officer asked gently. "Yes. We're here regarding the eviction order. I thought I had until Friday," she said, her voice barely steady. "The court order authorizes immediate possession," the officer replied. "We're required to supervise while the landlord secures the property." The building manager cleared his throat. "You'll need to gather essential belongings. You have 30 minutes. Maya nodded, because what else could she do? She closed the door and leaned against it for a second. Her body wanted to break, to scream, to collapse. But Caleb was watching her. She straightened. "Okay, buddy," she said softly. "We're going on a little adventure tonight." He looked confused. "An adventure?" "Yeah," she said, forcing cheer into her voice. "Pack your favorite things. Just the important stuff." While Caleb stuffed his backpack with his tablet, a worn teddy bear, and a stack of drawings, Maya rushed through the apartment. Birth certificates, her nursing assistant badge, the folder with her job applications, the eviction notice she had tried to fight. She had fallen behind after the hospital cut her hours. She had picked up double shifts when she could, sold her jewelry, skipped meals. But rent didn't skip. When the pandemic rent protections ended, her landlord raised the price by almost $400 a month. She had tried to negotiate. He had said, "It's market rate. If you can't afford it, someone else will." Now someone else would. At 9:52 p.m., the locks were changed. Her entire world reduced to what she could carry. The building manager handed her a paper. Any remaining items would be considered abandoned. She stared at him. "My furniture? My mother's dining table. You'll need to arrange storage fees." That night, they slept in her car. Maya reclined the driver's seat as far as it would go. Caleb curled up in the back seat, wrapped in her coat. She didn't sleep at all. She watched the clock glow on the dashboard and tried not to cry. On the 4th day, Maya went back to the courthouse. She had tried to fight the eviction before, but she had represented herself. She didn't understand the paperwork. Now she stood in line at the clerk's window. "I want to file an emergency motion," she said. The clerk barely looked up. "You need grounds." "My son and I are living in our car." "I'm sorry," the clerk replied, sliding a packet toward her. "Fill this out. There's no guarantee." Maya filled out every line. She attached proof of her reduced hours, bank statements, photos of her car packed with belongings. 2 days later, she received a notice. Emergency hearing granted. Friday, 9 a.m. At the court, Caleb sat beside her, swinging his feet. "Mom," he whispered, "are we in trouble?" "No," she said softly. "We're asking for help." When their case was called, Maya stood. The judge, a woman in her late 50s with silver-streaked hair, peered down at her. "Ms. Thompson, you filed an emergency motion to set aside the eviction. You may speak." She gripped the edge of the podium. "Your Honor, I work full-time. I fell behind after my hours were cut. I tried to pay partial rent. I asked for a payment plan. I was denied. My son and I have been sleeping in our car for 5 nights. The landlord's lawyer stood. "Your Honor, the tenant was lawfully served. Proper notice was given. Rent remains unpaid for 3 months. The judge looked at her. "Ms. Thompson, why did you not secure alternative housing earlier?" "I tried," she said. "I couldn't afford the deposits. I don't have family nearby." The judge glanced at the file. Then she looked at Caleb. "How old are you?" she asked gently. 8, he replied. "Do you like school?" "Yes, ma'am." "What do you want to be when you grow up?" "A rocket engineer," he said proudly. She turned back to the landlord's attorney. "Counsel, was a rental assistance application discussed?" The attorney hesitated. "It was not pursued. My client is under no obligation to..." The judge raised her hand. I did not ask about obligation. I asked whether it was discussed. No, Your Honor. The judge leaned back. Then she said something no one expected. Eviction is a legal remedy. It is not a weapon. This court finds that while notice requirements were technically met, there's evidence the tenant attempted good faith partial payments and sought negotiation. Additionally, the court is troubled by the refusal to engage in available rental assistance mediation. Therefore, this eviction order is temporarily set aside. Ms. Thompson will be granted a 60-day stay. During that time, both parties are ordered to participate in rental assistance mediation. No lockout shall occur during this period. Furthermore, this court orders a landlord provide immediate access for the tenant to retrieve personal property without storage fees. The landlord's face went pale. Failure to comply, the judge added calmly, will result in sanctions. The gavel struck. Next case. Maya stood frozen. Mom, Caleb whispered. She dropped to her knees and hugged him tightly. We're going home, she breathed. Word of the hearing spread faster than anyone expected. A local legal aid volunteer who had been in the courtroom approached her. I heard your case, the woman said. We can help you with the mediation paperwork. Within a week, Maya was connected to an emergency rental assistance program she hadn't known existed. The funds covered 2 months of back rent. Her employer restored some of her hours after she explained her situation. And then something else happened. The judge's ruling caught attention beyond that courtroom. A housing advocacy group requested the transcript. They highlighted one sentence. Eviction is a legal remedy. It is not a weapon. The phrase began circulating online. Community groups reached out. Donations trickled in, not thousands, not millions, but enough to stabilize her. But the real turning point came a month later. Maya received a call from the hospital administrator. We're opening a new wing, he said. We need a full-time patient care coordinator. Your supervisor recommended you. She accepted before he finished the sentence. 2 months after that terrifying night, Maya signed a lease for a small townhouse in a different neighborhood. It wasn't luxury, but it was safe. The day they moved in, Caleb ran from room to room. Mom, we have stairs. She laughed for the first time in what felt like years. That evening, as she unpacked boxes, there was another knock at the door. Her heart jumped, just for a second, but when she opened it, a delivery driver stood holding a small envelope. No return address. Inside was a handwritten note. Keep building rockets. A friend. There was also a check. Maya stared at the signature. It wasn't signed by name, but she recognized the handwriting from the court file. The judge had not been allowed to donate publicly, so she hadn't. Instead, she had chosen quiet compassion. Maya sat on the stairs and cried, not from fear this time, from relief. Like and share.